as a black business, you have to be the very best, to be absolutely truthful. Um, you can be good, and it may serve you well, but it's always good to be better, and it's always best to be the best.
I particularly chose that bird for this building. It was commissioned by, I believe, the York Road Partnership. It's a series called The Birds of York Road. And I met with the artist. I told him kind of what I wanted and what my vision was to have for the bird on this particular building. That bird was actually, they wanted it on another building, but I specifically chose that one.
So after studying and going to University of Maryland at Baltimore Medical Technology, um, I wanted to help people in a different way. When my son was in that fatal car crash, a month later, I injured my shoulder. And so I sought out an acupuncturist. And when I left my first session, I said, I think she gave me a drug because I was in such a relaxed state. And I was very much aware of that, very much aware that when people ring my doorbell, they are expecting some other race. And I'm like, well, it's me. And I'm here, so I feel good to be an acupuncturist, an African American acupuncturist. And I know I've met a few others, maybe 7, 10 tops, maybe.
My grandfather, Gabriel Maddox Sr., worked with Booker T. Washington in the late 1800s to establish the vocational printing curricula at Tuskegee Institute. And his 3 sons went into the printing business. My dad happened to be the youngest of the 3. He and another brother, Frank, started this business in 1954.
If you go back into days like of the Harlem Renaissance, the black dollar circulated something like 42 times before it left the black community. In this day and age, the black dollar does not circulate one time before it leaves the black community. Whereas if you go into communities like the Asian communities or the Jewish communities, they tend to spend money with their own to build their own networks. Whereas, not historically, but in the current state of Black America, we don't do that. So we don't build wealth inside of our own communities. It seems sometimes because we're black owned, you want a discount or you want so much more for less.
I think one of the challenges of being in black business is that you don't have the resources that a lot of majority businesses have. Getting capital to do what you want to do is a constant battle. It's a constant effort. It requires some real innovative thinking as to how you can do it. You find yourself having to do a lot with a little. But that builds character too. I mean, I work with other printing companies who have 10 times the revenue that I have, but I'm still in the game. You know, at my level of success is the same as theirs. The main difference is the revenue that's coming in. So you can get it done.
Racism is worse than it's ever been. It's bad because back then it was out in the forefront and it was bold and obvious. Now it's hidden and it still lives in some people because some of that hate is still taught, sometimes inadvertently, but nowadays it's worse because it's hidden.
One thing that disturbs me about the media is that you hear such negativity about people of color, my race.
I came out of the restroom on the other side one day, and 2 cops walk in and rush the door, and they grab me, the owner, right at the front door. I'm walking past to walk into the bar, and they're like, "Where's the gun?" And I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" So they have me like jammed up, restaurant full of guests, and they like, "Where's the gun? We know you did it." Like they just walked in the door, and I'm like, "Well, what are y'all talking about?" So they're like, "Well, we gonna have to search you." I said, "Tell you what, I'm gonna put my hands up. There's a camera there, and a camera there, and I'm going to tell you that you do not have permission to search me. There's many witnesses in here. You don't have me doing anything, but if that's what you have to do what you have to do. So I'm like telling you, you do not have permission to search me. So they're searching me, all of this, and then the third officer walks in the door and he goes, "Oh shit!" It was two white officers. The black officer who's in this district, he has this beat regularly. He's like, "What are y'all doing?" And they're like, "We got the guy and we just searched him, but he doesn't have the gun." He's like, "That's the owner of this business." Unfortunately, being a black man in America, I'm used to it. It's kind of like PTSD. So, you deal with those things on a daily basis.
They stopped and frisked you.
Yeah.
In your own business.
In my own business.
Moving forward and moving on to better myself and to help others. That's my goal, to drop little seeds. It may be someone, they may not be interested in acupuncture today, but I've dropped a seed, just like the seed was planted in me when I was a kid.
A couple of years ago, I had a situation where we brought some elementary folk in. And I think these were like fourth, fifth, and sixth graders. Young men and women came into the plant, and we gave them the tour of a plant. We showed them the equipment. We talked about color theory. We talked about types of paper. We talked about the different things that we did. And they were from a neighborhood school, an urban school. So everybody that you saw in the plant kind of looked like them. As the young man was leaving, he had somewhat of a puzzled look on his face, and I asked him if he had any additional questions or was there something I could help him with. And he turned around and looked at me and he said, "Yeah," he said, "Where's the boss?" So I played a little game with him and I said, "Well, I tell you, I can take you to the boss's office if you'd like." And he said, "Yeah, we can do that." So everybody was getting ready to go, and I just asked him for a couple minutes. I said, "We'll be right back." And I took him into my office, and I said, "Now, this is the boss's office." And he seemed to be very, very impressed. He sat at the chair, and I said, "Now, would you like to meet him?" And of course, he said, "Yeah." And so I said, "Well, you're talking to him." And the look on his face was just priceless, because, again, he had one vision and one idea of what a boss of a company, what the president of a company should look like. And I think I kind of planted a seed that day. When they experienced what this young man experienced, to me, it completely changes their realm of possibilities. They don't necessarily limit themselves to what they can be and who they want to be, because they see it and it's brought to them. So I would like to believe that whenever something like that happens, the young men and women who go away with an experience like that, their horizons have just completely opened up.
I'll put it like this: I just do what I am supposed to do, like from my creator to me, my ancestors. This is what my calling. When I'm helping someone else, I'm also helping to heal myself as well. So it's like I'm getting a treatment too.
What we do here as an African American owned and operated business, it is our mission to remain in the community, to be visible in the community, to set an example for young men and women and let them know not only is it possible for African American businesses to thrive, but to thrive continuously and to be a shining example of not only being in business, but provide support to the community. Our employees live in the community. We pay taxes to the city. And again, we take pride in being a part of the Baltimore community.